Yeah, some random keys. That sounds pretty cool. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. See, the source I was using for my history essay never finished loading, so I decided to just write in my own details, turn it in. What the hell do you mean America won the Civil War? Sometimes an anime gets greenlit way before the story is actually close to ending, and the studio behind a show can't just be expected to keep making shallow filler episodes or keep waiting years for enough source material to come out for another season. So sometimes the animation studio takes a story into their own hands, and I mean it's not like the higher ups at animation companies are like, haha, Tokyo Ghoul. Hey, someone get me the bad idea here. I'm trying to figure out which anime to send to World War II next. If you're lucky enough, a borderline phenomenon may happen known as the Brotherhood Treatment. The Brotherhood Treatment is when the initial anime run had an original conclusion before the manga could finish. But studios come back to the property and adapt the initially passed content, usually retconning what appeared in the last adaptation. Sometimes the studio goes back from the start and redoes everything. Sometimes you just get an email to ignore certain episodes. Readaptations would be your Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I know, shocking, Hellsing Ultimate, and while still not complete, Blue Extra's Kyoto Saga. But that isn't the only way a show can be redone. A show can be riddled with filler, but as long as the story doesn't go, off course, that's where the Kai treatment comes from. The Kai treatment is just a release of a show that is more condensed and really cuts the fat. Usually it looks somewhat touched up for the most part, and new content usually isn't made. At best we get an opening. This is a lot less common and may not be as special as the Brotherhood treatment, but it's nice having a much more digestible version of a show that isn't held back by how a medium used to be. Okay, but what's your point, Fayko? I was getting to that. With so many different shows that decide to not do the whole good thing the kids like to talk about, where the show gets inflated with filler or goes on its own path, what shows should be Brotherhooded or Kai'd? Now, this isn't a list of the only shows that should get a remake of some sort, just what I want to see. If you have any ideas, let me know. Akame ga Kill was gigantic when it came out for edgy teenagers everywhere. I was young once. I personally don't have an issue with insanely dark and edgy shows. It helps be a palate cleanser for all the power of friendship bright shows that are out there. Look, Mom, this is for adults too! Akame ga Kill basically just had a 124 episode season that just dropped, but the story as old as time itself happened. Manga wasn't finished and the studio didn't want to leave a story in stasis when it could just slap an ending on that works. While Akame ga Kill goes for a very similar route to the anime, some major arcs don't get fleshed out, and I would love to see what really happened to these characters in animated form because the anime just opted for dead. Yeah, the manga did that itself too, but slowed down around the final arc, and I mean, hey, this gauges if there's still enough interest in the property to animate Zero or the sequel manga. I have always been one of the odd ones that always preferred Bleach over Naruto. I also feel like the anime community praises me for that. Look, they gave me this nice hug jacket for saying such a brave opinion. I didn't really get into Bleach until partway through high school a few years ago, but I thoroughly enjoyed watching it without all the filler. While that is an option now, a lot of Bleach has remnants of these filler episodes, even in the canon episodes, and the fact that you can really say 45% of the show isn't canon really hurts any new attention it can get. Come on, man, this was part of the big three and it doesn't even have a legacy. I would love to see a Bleach release that gets rid of all the anime original content and gives you a fantastic bingeable experience. But here's my favorite part of that idea. If the touch-up is popular enough, I would love to see Studio Period not only animate the last arc, but get Tite Kubo on board to direct the show with what he wanted to happen in the original story. Because if you didn't know, the conclusion to Bleach got so rushed that Chemical Bleach seems a lot more enjoyable than the original manga. Anyone who watched Tokyo Ghoul and never touched the manga would feel like it was fairly good throughout. Yeah, an opening sucked here and some illogical stuff happened there, but it be that way. For anyone who read the manga though, it's better this way. Oh my god, this adaptation was awful! The first part was fine, but it's like Route A was written by a random word generator and put through Google Translate over and over until a sentence this incoherent could be made. He joined his torturers. God, is that even an actual sentence or a prank? I don't know how good the rest of the series is in the manga because admittedly I never finished it, but the second arc deserves way better than this, come on! Even the anime for the most part retconned Route A and just made the manga canon. Tokyo Ghoul should definitely rework Route A to follow the manga better so the anime as a whole is just one coherent experience. Any canon order that requires me to touch this, paper, defeats the purpose of an adaptation. If I'm reading just part of the source material, why don't I just read all of it instead of watching an adaptation I may dislike again later on? We in all honesty just need Route A reworked. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too crazy about One Piece because of a whole lot of yikes. I watched it when it was on 4Kids and I followed it to Toonami, but I lost it whenever I stopped watching anime when I was a kid. Listen, I was in it for Zatch Bell, anything else was just a bonus. But even as a non-fan, it's so frustrating that the biggest property in a medium I love so much is plagued by filler and low-effort production. The anime gets by a low filler percentage because while the majority of the episodes are, time for my favorite tack-on word, technically canon, they're mixed filler mixed canon, so each episode's only a certain amount from the manga. A trimmed down version of One Piece would gauge no interest and would probably bring back manga readers into the anime. I mean, come on, would you trust an episode list that looked like this in a dark alley? Has there ever been a series that needs a better anime treatment than Berserk? Good looking shows aren't as impossible as people act like it is, they just need to be done by the right studio. We've gotten decent Golden Age adaptation, a higher powers prank on humanity, and a Dynasty Warriors game, so a modern and genuine anime would be more than welcome. I've been caught up with the Berserk manga for a few years now, and the best part of the series is how the natural pacing feels. You know, when the chapters actually do come out, and how fantastic the visuals are. I don't think any adaptation has come close to matching these qualities. Of course, I don't just want this, but moving. I just know for a fact incredible looking anime are possible. And I do mean either 3D or 2D, so you know I'm not traumatized by past experience. And I mean there still is an audience, people actually watch this. Berserk is still a profitable property that makes so much money from high-end merchandise. They don't just make statues that cost thousands of dollars, they f***ing sell out. So it's not like there's a lot of risk bringing back a series that's been quiet for a while. This needs a true Brotherhood treatment. Show the best of the industry from the start of the manga to wherever we are now, and let's not get monkey paw just by asking for any kind of adaptation here. So in spirit of this subject matter, I didn't even write an ending to this video, so I had my friends decide how the video is gonna end. I told them to give it the worst possible ending they could possibly